So, Bitcoin is down today and been trading a little bit sideways after hitting new highs. Should we be worried? We're going to cover that, as well as we will cover some fun crypto news that just gives you an idea of what's happening out there in the world where we're seeing worldwide adoption. More athletes are wanting to be paid in crypto. There was a massive crypto sales mistake. Top business schools are teaching crypto and receiving tuition in crypto. There's some Ubisoft news and also a Solana gem pick. So shout out to, boy, I'm going to slaughter this name, BAIACU, who brought this ICO of this hot altcoin, Solana ecosystem altcoin, to my attention. And he said that there were some big backers behind it. Now, when I dug into it, I liked it. Specifically, those backers are Alameda Research, which essentially is Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX. Also, Aave, DYDX, and Coinbase Ventures. And a list of other top investors. And I'll share with you why I like where the price is at right now so you can make your own decision. Now, I looked into it, and I did give it to our Patreons last night when it was $9. And then it went all the way to $15.50 early this morning, and now it's back at $12. And it seems to me the timing is still great. So I'm going to share it with you today. We also have a giveaway from one of our new partners and longtime friends at Wanchain. We'll be giving away 125 worth of WAN, so 125 WAN, which is close to $125. And I will give you the details of how to enter in the show. Then at the end, I will be sharing with you what I believe many of you need to hear to help you get the very best out of the next 5 years, and specifically the next 2 months in crypto. So stay tuned for that. This concept I want to share with you is important to long-term success in crypto, and it's why I've seen so many fall out and miss their chance of making crazy wealth. So let's go ahead and welcome our DJ, our friend, and our producer, DMoney.
Our DJ, man. I don't know if I can wear that hat too, but yeah, I guess I am the one who's pushing that button.
Yes, we do have a fun soundboard that allows us to do some fun things that we'll be playing around with it. You know, as much as I'm new to YouTube, DMoney is not new to YouTube, but he's new to this role as producer. So we're both figuring out together, and our aim is to make this channel fun. It is a little bit fun if you go back and you look at some of my early videos, and the production quality on a scale of 1 to 10 is solid 1, probably.
Oh, come on.
So
the content was at least good. So
yeah, right. So crypto investing is what I'm good at, and you know, so you're always bad before you're good. And I was new to YouTube production, completely new a year ago. And so, you know, you just kind of learn and grow and improve your quality over time. Now, we also just launched our Patreon. Wanted to give a shout out to some of our new Patreons. So thank you for supporting our channel so that I can focus on bringing better content for you, because that allows me to bring on some other staff to take care of some of the other things that come up with producing content. These contributions go a long way so I can focus on what I'm best at. And specifically, I want to share with you, thank you. Let me bring it over so I can see it. I want to thank Landon, Tashkim, AV Home, Joe, EG, Crypto J, Eleni, Eugene, PW, Immaculator, Abraham, Matt, let's see, Pete, Tyler, Cliff Runner, Fernando, and Kurt. Thank you so much for your support on the Patreon. We really appreciate it. We just launched that. So thank you a lot. Now, welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I am your host, Jay Rain, and if you like money and are looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking the video and subscribing with that all notification button on. Special note, you know this, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a crypto investor myself, sharing with you how I think about the crypto market and specific cryptos I like. It's how I think about things that led me to actions that turned my portfolio from thousands to millions in just the past 4 years. And I think with me sharing with you some of these lessons I learned, because I'm not new to investing, my guess is that many of you can do the same or much better in the next 4 to 5 years yourself. Now, I did make some really big mistakes that first year because I didn't have this kind of channel to help me. And so when I created this channel, I'm sharing a lot of things that I wish I knew my first year in crypto, which would have led to much better results. Now, additionally, I do own or plan to own much of what I talk about on this channel on a daily basis, because I don't talk about the cryptos that I don't believe in, unless I specifically say that and share with you why I don't believe in it. Shiba, and Doge, and other meme coins.
Here's a soundboard opportunity. Where's the button?
Yeah.
Shiba. There we go.
Exactly. So today, getting started, we're going to look at Plan B stock to flow model. Now, Plan B predicts Bitcoin to hit 135,000 within weeks. Now, who is Plan B? We don't actually know who Plan B is, but we do know that he's an investor with 25 years experience in financial markets, and he has been nailing his predictions. I remember when we first heard from Plan B, Bitcoin was about 4,000, and many analysts were saying it's going to go all the way down to $1,000, and he said, nope, it's going to go up from here, and he was exactly right. In fact, it's eerie how right his predictions have been, and he drew out this stock to flow model, which is what they use to predict the value of what gold is going to be. And so what's nice about Bitcoin is at any given time, you can tell almost exactly what the total circulating supply of Bitcoin is going to be, at least the total that's available. We don't actually know the exact supply because we know in the early days of Bitcoin, there was many Bitcoin that were lost forever. So we do have an idea, though, of how much Bitcoin is printed every 10 minutes as Bitcoin rewards for those mining. And so you can tell what this supply is going to be, as well as at the Bitcoin halving, when they decrease the reward of Bitcoin to half of what it currently is. You can tell how that's going to hit the supply of Bitcoin, whereas demand keeps rising and the supply, or the increase in supply, keeps getting halved every 4 years. And so he uses that model to make his predictions. And what's funny is he called for like a $65,000 Bitcoin or $64,000 Bitcoin at the end of October. And it's eerie how close he got to that. And when he made that prediction, he made that in like July. And so we were a long ways away from that. And his predictions have been so solid. So it's incredible. He's saying that in a few weeks, we're going to rocket to 135,000 by the end of 2021 before an eventual crash. Now, question for you, D. When did you first hear about Bitcoin? What was the price when you first heard about it?
Sheesh, man. I have no idea what the price was, right? But it was early, you know. It was probably 7 years ago or something like that. But like, I mean, like without talking too much about myself, like I have 5 kids. You know, so 7 years ago, I mean, I guess I only had 4 kids at the time. Mm-hmm. One of them was very, very young, baby. Like, it just was something where it was on my radar, but not enough to where I was even, you know, like it seemed like fake money then, right? You know, people are like, oh, can you believe this? It's just people are buying this money that's, you know, that's digital or whatever. This computer money, yeah. And so I for whatever reason, and the reason that I tell myself is that I just didn't have time to look into it. I was so busy. I was operating a restaurant at the time that I owned. I mean, my life was insane. And so, but yeah, I mean, 7 years ago, I would say, yeah.
So what's funny is what you went through and the process you went through is what a lot of people go through. I went through the same thing. I heard about it wrong back in like 2012. And they said, oh, yeah, your computer goes to work putting strings together to create it. And I was like, well, shoot, if your computer can just create it, then there's going to be, like, at some point, an endless supply of it being created. And so where's, you know, yeah, that means the value is not going to keep going up, because if you can just essentially print money with your computer, then what's going to make it scarce? And so they explained it to me all wrong, so I completely dismissed it till I remember hearing about Bitcoin when its price was like $80 and then $120. So when it crossed 1,000, I didn't even hear about it till it was like at $5,000. And so by the time I figured out how to buy some, it was $6,000. Now that process is going to happen a lot very soon to a lot of people. See, there's a lot of people out there thinking, oh, this Bitcoin thing, I need to look into it. And they even say those words to them. I need to look into it. But guess when we do? When it crosses some milestone of like, oh my gosh, I'm missing the boat. So that milestone for a lot of people is going to be $100,000. And they're going to say, oh my gosh, because I spoke to an investor that's a good friend of my wife's, and he's a real estate investor, and he's got millions and millions of dollars, been doing real estate investing for like 40 years. Very smart guy. And, you know, every time we talk to him, he's like, oh, I need to get into Bitcoin. Do you know when he finally is going to do that? When all of a sudden he wakes up and it's over $100,000. And it's going to cause this cascade effect that comes into Bitcoin. And it's going to be exciting. So should we worry where Bitcoin is today? Well, let's look a little bit about where it is. And so it's been trading sideways. It broke through its previous all-time high, went up to here. And then sometimes that acts as some resistance and it trades sideways for a little bit. It's building up some momentum. My guess is it's going to shoot off very soon. And I bet you we hit pretty close to what Plan B is predicting. So by the end of the year, he gave that exact number, rocket to 135,000 by the end of the year. But if we look at his model here, see, look at what 2000, this is his stock to flow model, this line that he's put in. And what's amazing is it doesn't stay right at that line. It goes above and below. So usually when we have this blow off top, we go far higher than the line. And it looks like the line itself paints the value at right about 100 and, I don't know, it might be 130,000 is where the true value is. And my guess is it overshoots that by a lot, then comes back down under it, and then plays around with it, and then eventually will shoot up again to the next line. And for the next cycle, he has it at over $1 million per Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh, that's bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be exciting times. Imagine if you had just a couple of Bitcoin, you had that in something like Celsius's network, and they paid you like 5% return on your Bitcoin in Bitcoin. That's pretty significant. That's life-changing money for a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. So the stock to flow model, this is another diagram of it. We can just see a little bit closer where it's at. And anytime it's below this line, usually you're buying it at a discount. Anytime it's over it, you might consider taking some profits on it. On the bigger scheme. Now, we will do more specific videos on taking profits, and I did just upload one for our Patreons. If you're a Patreon subscriber and you haven't seen it, that video I just uploaded yesterday, but I'll be covering it more on the channel as well. Some fun Bitcoin news. Aaron Rodgers to convert part of his salary into crypto. He's not the first to do this, but a lot of them are. They're really waking up to Bitcoin, and they want to get paid. Well, thank you, Fox News. We really don't want to hear from you at the moment. All right. So big news, many athletes are doing this as they're kind of getting a hold of crypto. Crypto.com is the #1 app in Google Play Store in the U.S. Incredible how it's coming together. I mean, I remember when I was new in 2017, they're like, we're going to hit mass adoption. We're going to hit mass adoption. I think we're going to hit some mass adoption this cycle. I don't think grandma's going to be buying crypto yet. It's still too hard for her. I think that'll come in the next cycle. But I think a lot of people are going to get crypto, and a lot of them, unfortunately, are going to buy the top. Because if you're here now, you're here at a good time. If you're here 5 months from now, you came in pretty late, and you missed the boat. So, you know, those that are here now, good time to make some good returns, take some profits this cycle so you are liquid, and you have a lot of liquid cash on the side to buy when things get cheap again, because every parabolic move is followed by a big crash. All right. In the other news, yeah, Robinhood teaming up with Burger King. So what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot of the big retailers and other things really figure out crypto and NFTs, and they'll give away NFTs with like Happy Meals, and we'll see more of this stuff. And this is what adoption looks like. So we saw a little bit of this in 2017 too, and it particularly happens when crypto is front of mind for a lot of people, but the NFT space has come forward a lot more. So you'll see some of these big retailers doing things to do like giveaways and other things. Like McDonald's had this Monopoly campaign for forever. There every year, you know, if you buy some McDonald's stuff, you get little Monopoly entries, and a lot of those things can go to NFTs. And we'll see a lot of that. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you've watched Squid Game. I haven't. My son tried to get me to watch it, and he's like, oh, it's interesting. But there was a crypto scam that gave the same name that just took a bunch of people's money. Do know, especially as a lot of attention gets thrown at crypto, there will be a lot of scammers come back into the space, and there were a lot in 2017, 2018. So, like, in the comments, even below on this YouTube video, you'll see somebody pretending to be us, trying to get you to call some WhatsApp number, and then they're going to try to get you to send them some kind of crypto, and it's always a scam. You'll know if it's me responding to you because my name will be circled in black, because they can just copy our thumbnail and other things, and they can make the name look almost exactly the same. So just know there's tons of scammers out there looking to take your money, and it happens every cycle. And then they kind of go away during the crypto winter, and then they come back. So they're back, and you'll see a lot of it. So be careful. If you're in Telegram and somebody private messages you for something that you didn't ask them to private message you, it's almost certainly a scam. All right, what else we got? Well, for some reason, crypto Twitter is obsessed with these new tungsten cubes. Have you heard about this?
I have not at all, but I have it. But my wedding ring is tungsten, so
yeah,
maybe I should melt it down into a cube or something.
Yeah, it'd be worth a lot of money, but I guess it's really heavy, and so people are loving these cubes, and it is funny that a lot of crypto Twitter leads to a lot of hype things, and so this has caught the hype cycle, kind of like crypto Twitter, like Shiba Inu is where a lot of that gets pushed, and the meme coins get pushed, and now tungsten cubes. So thought I would cover that. It was interesting. I want to thank Stardust Runner, who provided some of these news tidbits for us to share with you. He's one of our researchers. Brilliant guy.
Yeah, and if you're in the Telegram, he's super active on there and gives a lot of really, really good advice, and he responds. He's one of the top admins in there. So yeah, shout out to Stardust.
He's a brilliant guy. He works for one of the top 100 companies in the world as a financial analyst on their accounting side. So he does know what he's talking about. Now, the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, briefly suspended crypto withdrawals earlier this week. Man, Binance has been having a lot of trouble. I remember when they were brand new, they actually came out of nowhere and passed up all the competition, because in the 2017 run, what's funny is sometimes you had to wait 2 or 3 months to be able to sign up for an account on a lot of the existing exchanges because they got overwhelmed by so many new users. And Binance, I don't know if they had a lot more server space or whatever, so people were able to sign up with a Binance account, and they outpaced everyone else's growth. And they had some of the top best coins, because back then you didn't have things like Uniswap and PancakeSwap to trade. MetaMask was just a thought in somebody's mind. It hadn't actually been created yet. And so people traded only on exchanges, and Binance took off. However, I think they ticked off the U.S. regulators somehow. And the U.S. regulators have gotten other countries to put a lot of pressure on them. And some of the U.S. regulators, unfortunately, this is the problem with regulators and why I don't trust them, is they often get in bed with some of the participants in the industries that they're supposed to regulate. So I know a lot of crypto users a lot of times say, oh my gosh, we need regulation to cut out the scams. And unfortunately, the regulators, you wish that only people with the best of intentions would come in to those regulator positions, and that is the intention behind it and why a lot of people call for it. Just know that regulators are humans too, and they can be corrupted just like the politicians that we all complain about. And so especially when their regulator position pays them $35,000 a year, but they can do the secret under the table deal for $500,000. The pressure on them is pretty strong. Or they know that, hey, I'm going to be favorable with this company, so when I leave my regulator position, then I can go get a job with them, which happens all the time. And so just know that when you call for more regulation, those regulators often get in bed with some of the biggest players at the detriment of a lot of the new innovative startup companies. So it actually squashes innovation a lot of time. And so I hate to see Binance under attack by these regulators. For the most part, Binance is a pretty good company. They did start doing leverage trading, and the U.S. said, oh, you're not enforcing KYC, and so some of our people are doing leverage trading on your platform, and we're going to pursue you. But I suspect that it was something deeper than that, because some of the regulators are in bed with some of Binance's competitors, or at least by their actions, it would suggest that. All right. This would suck. So somebody bought this CryptoPunk forever ago and been sitting on it, and they did hit the jackpot with it, and it did really good. And they mistakenly sold it at a huge discount. So CryptoPunks, you could, I remember when you could buy these for about $2,000 to $5,000, or even a couple of Ethereum earlier than that, when ETH was trading about $100. So you could have 3 years ago bought one of these for like 2 ETH, and ETH was about $300 or $400 at the time. Well, these have absolutely moonshotted, as you know, and this person meant to put it up at one price. They were trying to sell it, I think, at 31 million. And then they were lowering it to, they're trying to put it at half price. So they're trying to essentially list it at it looked like
4,440 ETH.
Yeah, but they they put it at 4.44 ETH.
Good heavens.
Woo. So it sold immediately. Yeah. And the person who bought it even paid a 3.33 ETH priority fee to ensure they got it before anyone else.
Yeah, smart.
Yep. And then they put it up for sale for 325 ETH. Just a cool $1.4 million. So do be careful when you're entering your trades, because comma mistakes can cost you a lot. All right. Boy, that hurt a lot. Now, interestingly enough, when we talk about crypto mass adoption, you're seeing little signs of it across the world. And we're seeing Wharton Business School accepting crypto payments for blockchain for their tuition fees, as well as they're teaching some classes on crypto. And so we'll see more of these signs happen. Now, you will hear in the coming month people saying, oh my gosh, we're getting mass adoption. This time, crypto is never going to come down. It's just going to go parabolic from here. First of all, nothing goes straight parabolic. Secondly, they could be right in general, but probably not. I would wait at about a 4% chance that we don't have a big crypto winter. And I know some people disagree with me on this. And in 2017, I believe those people that said, oh, it's never going to come down from here. But if you doubt whether it's going to come down from here, just look back to March is all you have to do. What happened in February and March? We had this huge parabolic run. What happened after the parabolic run? Retracement. Happens every time. Now, I do think during this crypto winter, there might be like 40 companies whose price from the beginning of the crypto winter to the end appreciates quite a bit. Last cycle, there was really only a couple. There was Binance Coin, BNB's token, and there was Chainlink, but about everything else did terrible during the crypto winter. Now, why did those two do well? Because their business model was ready to go, and they were making revenues, and they were acquiring new customers, and they were revenue positive. And so they just had big news after big news. Binance was very revenue positive, and they used those revenues to continue to improve their token use case and give it new use cases. And so their token went up in value when everything else retraced. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's about 40 companies where their use cases are ready to go, they're revenue positive, and that over the general crypto winter, they appreciate. But anything that goes parabolic always has a big retrace. It's just human reaction. People take profits, and then when people are taking profits, those that bought at the top panic sell, and it causes a big retrace. So look for that, which is why we'll cover in the coming weeks some taking profit strategies. There's also some videos you can find in the past videos that cover that. So it's something we'll cover every once in a while. And I will tell you when I start taking profits myself. Interestingly enough, Ubisoft, which is one of the best video game providers out there, they have invested in a crypto startup that has play to earn plan. So what we're going to see is a lot more AAA games coming in, as well as they invested in Animoca Brands. And Animoca Brands has become one of the best brands in video games. I remember when they made their investment into Axie Infinity, which made me feel a lot better, because people look now at Axie Infinity as this giant, but when you're investing in the early days like I did, sometimes you're like, I hope this company makes it. And sure enough, it did. My little $4,000 investment turned into about $400,000 over the past 3 years. And if I still held all of it today, I can look back and say, wow, I had wished I had kept all of that and it'd be worth $5 million today. But the truth is, if you're taking profits on the way up responsibly, you never end up selling the complete top, and it's okay. All right. Another one that I wanted to share had to do with Solana. So this is one of the gems that I want to talk about. But before I do, let's talk about the giveaway. For this Wanchain giveaway, here's how to enter. No worries if you don't have a Wanchain wallet yet. For the winner, if you don't have one, we'll walk you through how to do it. So for this giveaway, I I know WAN is currently trading at about 95 cents, but I expect WAN will do better than 10x. In fact, I expect it'll do far better than 10x in this bull run. And so in my opinion, I wouldn't see this as like $120 worth of WAN. You could see it as far more than that. So how to enter this giveaway? This is easier for our longtime followers. So for this giveaway, I want you to share an experience on a trade that you made that you learned about the token from our channel. You did your own research and you made an investment, and how did it do for you? We'll be giving away Wanchain each week while our sponsorship with Wanchain continues, or our partnership with them. If you aren't yet familiar with them, I will be going into greater detail, or you can check out my coverage of them in the past, including an interview with the CEO. Also, check out videos on WanSwap and Zookeeper. Now, myself, I have about 100,000 total value invested in Wanchain. In fact, I think that's up. And I have a lot of it on WanSwap that's just yield farming that really makes me about, I'd have to check, I think $4 to $5 grand a month just yield farming for me. And so it's been a significant producer for me, even while Wanchain's been trading sideways for a long time. Just the yield farming on top of that, and then I expect the token will do well coming up. So if you're interested in entering that, put that in the comments below the story, and we'll pick one of those winners, and then we'll reach out to you, and you will know it's me, because my name will be highlighted with a black circle around it, and nobody else's will. So then we'll pick you as the winner, and we'll probably do that, on Monday's show? We'll look back?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do that on Monday's show, and we'll pick the winner. So I want to bring up this gem. This is a Solana ecosystem gem. Now, I wish I could say I knew everything about this. Essentially, it's a lending platform on Solana. There's some things that caught my attention on this, and this is the one that came from one of our Patreon subscribers. Through the Patreon, you get access to our Discord, and in our Discord he brought this one up and asked me what I thought about it. So I looked deeper into it, and there are some things I really like about it. I mean, look who it's, like I discussed earlier, who's investing in it, but here are specifically the investors and builders behind it. So Polychain, Dragonfly Race, Coinbase Ventures, which is a big deal. Yeah, Solana Ventures. Additional to that, Alameda Research, huge deal. Stanny from Aave, that's huge. Antonio from DYDX. Like, this is a really big deal. And so some of the things that make me interested in this, so there's 100 million total Solend tokens, yes, SLND. And here's how the distribution follows. But another thing that's interesting is just 5% is allocated at the IDO, coming from the Treasury, as well as the Treasury will own IDO funds and LP position as well. So the way you can make some of these is if you're actually on their platform and they're lending, you'll earn some of their tokens. But there's not a lot of their tokens in circulation of their total supply in these early stages. And seed investors have a 3-year vesting schedule lockup, like a huge lockup, with the first third vesting on October 1st, 2022. So they're locked up for quite a long time. And so what I like about that is, yes, over time, the total amount of tokens will increase. So if you look at where their price is at. Now, when I called this, I saw it right here. And so I was like, ooh. So I let my Patreon subscribers know about this. I was like, look, it made this nice retrace. I think it's a good price at this. Because even though they have 100 million total tokens, max circulating supply, that would put this at $1 billion market cap if all those were in circulation, but they're not. 5% of those are in circulation. So it puts its market cap at about 50 million. Well, based on the backers, that's what has my interest, as well as so little of this is going to continue to insert itself into circulation during the coming 3 months or 4 months. Is this something I'm going to hold beyond the next 5 months? I don't think so. But is it a good buy? Well, a lot of people thought so. It went all the way up to 1550 when I woke up this morning, and then has since retraced and is looking really attractive again. Now, I can't say how this is going to do in the short term because there's some IDO investors that have some of their tokens unlocked, and what they're going to do, I mean, some IDO investors are smart and they don't sell for dumb prices, and some aren't. And so will people dump? Maybe. But at this price, I was way interested again. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention. Not as good as this price, but this price may be gone for forever. We don't know. Maybe we'll be lucky and it comes back to this price. But even at this price, it's pretty attractive. The IDO price was about $6. So it's under 2x from IDO. When do you get to get into something with these kind of backers for 2x of the IDO price was my thought process. Almost never. Now, interestingly enough, they haven't had a lot of publicity and press. And so if you look at this, I mean, this article alone has only had, Solana has 562 followers. And so they haven't had a lot of distribution, 371 claps here. And so I think with the right backers, it's going to get a lot of traction in the coming months. And this is what an undiscovered gem often looks like. It's kind of sleeping because it hasn't got the major press yet. So take a look at it, see if you like it too. I did. And you get this on the Radium wallet. So I use, the Radium DEX. And I use a Phantom wallet, but there's a number of Solana wallets that you can connect to. And the pairing is with USDC, I believe. And so essentially, if you don't have any Solana in that ecosystem, you have to get a wallet. You have to send Solana to that wallet to kind of fund it so you have Solana there for gas. So it's easier just to get a bunch of Solana. You send that in. Then you can convert the Solana to USDC, which you can then swap for Solend if you're interested.
And this is another, there are two examples of the value of the Patreon group right here, right? It's like we can talk about, hey, I just called this for $9, it went up to 15, and now it's back down, and that was all yesterday. But the value of, and forgive both of us for not being able to pronounce your name, but he was able to reach out to you and say, hey Jay, what do you think about this?
And anybody else could have seen that immediately too.
Well, sure, but
right?
You looked into it because you're there in the Discord, and so the value of being able to ask Jay right away, and then Jay gives the advice. I mean, that's not a 2x, but that's a pretty sweet return for whatever it was, 12 hours. As long as you're paying attention. So, pretty good price to get in there at $9.
Yeah, and at 1160, it's like, yes, that's exciting to me. In fact, it might bounce up from here. We don't know how it's going to play out. What I tell myself is that a $50 million market cap with those kind of backers, does it make sense to me? It does. I mean, Aave is investing. They're a competitor. Let's look at Aave's market cap. Oh my gosh. So let's pull up CoinGecko and let's look at their market cap. So if Aave is investing in it, let's see why. Oh, probably because CoinGecko is so slow these days. So we'll jump over to here. Just 4.4 billion. So if this is the DEX, or not the DEX, but the lending platform that Aave is backing on Solana, and that Sam Bankman-Fried is backing on Solana, and other things, and its market cap is at 50 million, I am absolutely taking that ride, and you're welcome to take it with me, but do your own research. Make sure you feel good about it, because I don't know the future. What I do is I just take these good guesses in narratives where my chances of winning are higher than my chance of losing, but I could lose on this. So I just don't usually lose, but it does happen sometimes. And sometimes I'm wrong before I'm right, and that I'm right. Like Axie Infinity, I bought all those Axie land chests when it came out, and I was paying 1 ETH for a Mystic plot, and it also gave me some other items. Would you know the price went down for about a solid 6 months on the resale market of those things? And I was like, shoot, I was wrong on this. I was like, no, I was still right on it. But I could have if I had not bought them from Axie directly, because their price didn't change. If I'd bought the stuff off the resale market, I could have got a lot more for the price I'd paid. But then I really was right. And, those Mystic land plots, the Mystic pieces alone go for $50,000 to $150,000. And at the time I was paying $80 for them. But I was wrong before I was right, because I could have bought those off the resale market for $40. And I was like, shoot, well, I'm too stubborn. I'm just going to stick with it because that's what I do. And worked out pretty good. Now, unfortunately for me, I sold those at 2.5 ETH a piece. So what's ETH going for now?
It'd be a cool
$4 grand. Yeah, 10 grand a piece. Oh well, I had 20 of them, and then some other money that's made me. So it turned out okay. We want to thank all of you who share our videos on Twitter and share them with your friends and help us grow the channel. The bigger we get, the more giveaways we can give. And I wouldn't depend on giveaways to make your everything go well for you, but these giveaways do supplement your trades and what you're making. So it's just a fun way that we can give to you as you help us grow. So thank you to that. Also, as we cross 25,000 subscribers, we will be start giving away our 401j bags. We did interview Federa. We will be airing that tomorrow. So check out that interview with Federa so you can find out about them. Essentially, they will be crypto gift cards that give you an NFT that people will be able to buy at the corner convenience store all around the world. They already have the partnerships ready that have distributions with a lot of the major retailers around the world. And so they talk a little bit more about that in the videos coming up, but we secured 5 $200 IDO allocations that we'll be giving away from you. And it's already 3x already from here, so they're not worth $200 anymore. They're worth about $600 a piece, and we'll be giving away 5 of those. And these I would hold because I like the price it's currently at just 3x. I don't love it when things go crazy at the IDO because it doesn't allow for a good entry. And so as I was talking to them on their price, I was like, man, I love this price because this is a price that my community can do well with. If they weren't able to get on the IDO on the different launch pads, it was on. So that will be a fun giveaway, and then look forward to giving away those. We want to congratulate all of you that entered the Castle giveaway. We'll be announcing those winners shortly. And our other giveaway for the NFT that you have to be in our Telegram channel in order to join. So joining our Telegram channel, you don't have to join it, but we are going to lock the doors on that. And right now it's free to join. After this, we will have a course coming out on crypto secrets. And these crypto secrets are what I wish I knew when I first started. And if you're already in our Telegram channel, when we lock the doors, we will give you a special discount access to that. And everyone else has to pay the regular price for that. And so if you join, number one, you'll be able to get the discount. But number two, the only way to get into the Telegram channel after that is to go ahead and subscribe to the video because it will become a closed group and they'll have to pay for that course. Now that course, who is it worth it for? Well, a lot of the stuff, if you've been a subscriber to the channel for the last 5 months, a lot of these things I share in my videos, and you could save yourself the money and just go back and watch all of my videos because these concepts aren't new. I share them with you continually. However, they're just condensed into 7 or 8 videos rather than these in 7 to 8 videos that are 5 to 10 minutes long a piece. And so it will be a condensed course of essentially everything I wish I knew when I was new to this. Because when I was new to this, I did make a lot of assumptions. I thought that people who had YouTube channels knew what they were talking about. And to some extent, that wasn't true at all. There were a few that kind of actually had some good concepts. But I had an investment background, and I thought like an investor, and I thought, well, shoot, if they have a big following, they probably, and if they have a bunch of money from crypto, then they probably know what they're talking about. As I've gotten more in depth, a lot of people who have YouTube channels, they might be fun personalities to listen to, but they're not necessarily good traders, and most of them are not necessarily good investors, at least what I expect out of it. And so part of the reason I created this channel was just to give you a straight investor's perspective on these things. Somebody that's been doing investment for 24 years, and only 4 years in crypto, but a much longer time period before that, and just my views on them. Now, I'm not always right, but I am often right. And I do look for good buys, and I simply enough, I buy low and sell high, and as simple as that sounds, simple isn't always easy. Now, any other news that you wanted to share, DMoney?
Nothing that I can think of, man. Yeah, you you covered it quite a bit. So, yeah, good show today. I'm thinking about that CryptoPunk mishap. Like, I just cannot even imagine how both of them are feeling, right? Like a little mistake, and I mean, and somebody lost $1 million and somebody gained $1 million. I mean, it really is. That's the definition of crypto Wild West, right? I mean,
yeah. Can you imagine? And I've seen a few mistakes like that. You find them sometimes on the VV app. If you're subscribed to this channel, you've probably heard of VV before, but it's where you can buy some of the best NFTs. And sometimes I've seen people list their really expensive NFT and they'll make a comma mistake or a period mistake, and they list it for like 1/100th of the price they meant to list it for. And one I tried to get it and somebody had already gotten it, but somebody got that it was a secret rare for like essentially 99% off.
Right, yeah, no, I've seen a couple of those too, and even texted, some people. I'm like, dude, look at this, because I saw it and hit the buy now, and it was gone. By that time, I wasn't able to increase the gas fees by 3.33 ETH or whatever that guy did. So smart, like, get this through. I don't care what it costs. I'll spend 10 grand to get this transaction through. But anyway, and the person that I'd send it to, Doctor of Stuff, actually, if you're in the Telegram group, he was like, bots is who got that one, like bots who are covering the floor. And I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I think that there probably are some people and some bots that are just scouring the floor down there.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to share this thought. I was catching up with a lifelong friend of mine and a few others this last week, and I realized how many people are going through this same thought pattern. Now, probably if you've been in crypto for a little while, you've made some gains, depending on what timing you bought it. But looking around, it often feels like you're missing out on something. Like you're always missing out. You hear about the kid that turned $100 into $500,000 with Shiba, or someone else who did a 500x. And these stories are the 0.1% of the stories, and are similar to the stories of people who win the lottery. What this does is it messes up our expectations. When our expectations get off, we keep getting frustrated with our own results, which sometimes our investments trade sideways or even retrace them. That's natural and that's actually normal. But it gets us thinking we are missing out, and if we were on top of it, our portfolio would be going straight up. And this just isn't the case. Now, I want to share a story with you that kind of relates to this so that you can see the longer term perspective. In the gold rush of Canada and the US, many new prospectors would come in and they'd search for those nuggets that they heard about everyone finding, hoping to find some nuggets. And they were occasionally found, but they didn't take time panning for the gold, and they call that panning for the gold pay dirt, which is the small amounts that the savvy would do that they would get every day. And sometimes they'd come across the nuggets, but they knew the real wealth was in the pay dirt. And it was the panners that made it rich if they were in the good areas. And those looking for nuggets, most of them got washed out. They spent a fortune getting out there and investing in some stuff, didn't find nuggets, and within 2 years they left, packed up their bags and left. And it was those panners that were doing the work every day that ended up making it rich in those areas. So the same thing with crypto, that if you keep learning, if you commit yourself to be here for 5 years, and you keep learning how to analyze and find good companies, as well as good timing, buying low, more and more of your trades are going to do well, especially when you couple that with patience. You more often buy low and take profits at highs, and over time your portfolio grows and grows. Now, we are going into the weekend, and we want to again thank all our Patreon sponsors. Also, our Telegram channel, you can join. It's still free. We will be closing it off soon, so join in there. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got our wrap at the end. I know we changed our format. We keep the video running for you while we run the song, just as we're wrapping up here. Just a fun way to do something a little bit different. We're always trying to find ways to make the channel more fun while saturating it with some good information. But we find if it's all information and not enough fun, it gets too easy to tune it out. So also, if you have some things that you're loving from the channel, tell us that below too. We'd love to hear that. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you soon. All right.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit right before you're good. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. Buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, got parabolic, they dumped it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but when knowledge you gain show. Sinking out this road, cause soon will come a bear market. We're learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.